All right, so we have a mechanism for being able to log in, right? And if we're logged in, to be able to navigate to the person who's currently logged in, right, to their profile. And we can also log out, and it kicks us back to the login page. And if we navigate to the home page, what we'd like to be able to do is drive those links so that they're a little smarter. And depending on who's logged in, if there's somebody logged in, then we'd like to turn on or off some of these links, right? So, for instance, if I'm not logged in, it shouldn't let me. This link of profile shouldn't even be there. Or if I'm already logged in, then login and register shouldn't be there. Okay, so let's manage some of those links, right? So if we go to the home page, let's see where we have our home page. So our home page, there it is, home. First of all, we might need a controller for the home page, right? Right now we don't have a controller for it, so let's create a proper directory structure for the home page. So we'll call this home, and let's move. Let's create also a controllers and templates for home. So this is templates, and let's move the home page over to the templates. And hopefully it'll update correctly. Let's see if it did. If it did in the config. In the config, do we have homepage updated? It did, right? It updated correctly. Nice. So we moved that there. And what I'd like to be able to do is, in the homepage, I'd like to be able to drive the fact that if the profile should only show if indeed there is a currently logged in user, and these should not show, right, if there's somebody already logged in. Right? So what we could do, for instance, something like we would need to have access to the currently logged in user here in the home page, right? And the only place, the only one who can give us data is the controller, right? So let's have the controller handle this. So there should be a home controller. Home controller. So we have here the home.controller.client.js, right, in here. And this will be a control like all the other ones. So it'll be function, and iffy, and this will be Angular module, and this is WAM, and dot controller. So this is the home controller. Okay, and this is the function right here. So what we'd like to be able to do is that this controller at some point, right, would add the current logged in user here or something, right? Current user would be equal to what? What would be the current user? So notice that we do have a mechanism, right? That when we navigate to a particular page, we have access to the current user, don't we? I mean, that's what we did in the profile, right? In the profile, we use a resolve, and the resolve is the one who checked to see if there was a currently logged in user and made it available to the profile page, right? So we can use a similar mechanism, right? So we can have it injected to us, right? If there's a currently logged in user, and we can just assign it here. Then in the home page, we could then use the object here. For instance, login, we could check to see and say that only display the login page, the login link, only if the model.current user, right? Maybe if there is no ID. So if there is no ID, if there's no current user, or maybe like this, if there's no current user. If there's no current user, then, right, maybe display the login page, the login link, or also register, right? If there is no current logged in user, then display the register. And similar in the profile, we could say the inverse, right? If there is a currently logged in user, then display the profile link, something like that, right? So what we need to do is okay, well, how do we get the current user in here? How do we get the current user in here? So we can use the same mechanism we did for the profile page. So if we go to the profile page, what do? We use this mechanism right here, current user, right there it is for the profile. Where are you, profile? Here, right? So we could do the same thing, right? We could grab this, we could grab that, and we can paste it in front of the home here, right? We can say, right? We'll need the controller as well here, right? Controller. It's the home controller. Home controller. Is that what we called it? And it's referred to in the view. It's referred to as the model, right? Okay. So that should work, right? So if I navigate, I'm logged in, and I try to navigate to the home page, the user will be available to me. Will be injected, correct? Right? I think we have one thing more to do before we try this out. We created a new controller, and we need to register in our index page. So let's declare it here. So this will be for the home. So this will be script, source. So this will be views, home, and then controllers, and then controller. There it is. So I don't remember if it's somebody logged in. Is somebody logged in? Okay, let's log in. So log in. So I'm in my profile, and I can definitely navigate to the home page. And notice that there it is, right? Profile is showing, but notice that login and profile and register is not showing, right? Because there is a currently logged in user, correct? Okay. Notice that from here we have log out. This too could be implemented just like the profile log out, right? So let's go to the profile. Is that linked to the profile? There it is. So if we can navigate to the profile. We can log out. We can log out, right? And we can go back to the home page. Notice that it's not letting me go back to the home page. And the reason is because, again, remember, we're protecting that, right? We're using that resolve, right? The logic that we have is that no, we're not allowing you to navigate to these views unless you're logged in, correct? So we can't use this check logged in for the home page, or not quite the way we have it here. Okay, what we like to do is do something similar. Yes, fetch the currently logged in user, right? But if there is no currently logged in user, that's okay. I still want to show the home page. Make sense? Right? So I don't want to stop you from navigating there. It's just that if it is there, I like to do some logic. If it's not there, then I'd like to show some other things. Make sense? Right. So if there's nobody logged in, maybe I'll show a very generic home page. Right. But if you are logged in, then I'd like to show something that is relevant to you. Right. So if I'm logged in, I go to my home page. Maybe I see the latest movies I've liked, the latest articles I've reviewed, whatever, the latest scores of my favorite teams. But if there's nobody currently logged in, then I would show something more generic. Yeah. So instead of check logged in, maybe I could check do something different. Check current user, maybe. Meaning I want to check to see if there is a current user, but I don't want to be so restricted that I don't let you navigate. Right. So let's rewrite that. So it'll be a function that is almost identical to this. Almost identical to this, but it's going to be a little more forgiving if there is no user. So check current user. Okay, that is going to go out, and it's going to use the same logic, check logged in, but instead it's not going to force me to navigate to the login page. See that? Right, I'm going to remove that so that it's not going to kick me out. It's going to reject it. It's going to reject it, but it's going to let me navigate to the home page regardless. Okay, so if we refresh here, right, and we go to login, if we go to the home page, it's still not letting me. Wait, what? Okay, I am going to. Did I do the routing? Did I? Where? Current user, home page, home controller. Let's see what's going on here. Let me step through this. Let's see. Source, check current user. Refresh. Okay, and if it's let's see what's coming back. Okay, current user is 0. Reject it. It's going to reject. Oh, okay. All right. So yes. So it is not letting me. It is not rendering the template, meaning it's stopping me from instantiating the template and instantiating the controller. So actually, we are going to resolve it, but we're going to pass in maybe an empty object, meaning we don't have a current user. It's an empty object. Yes. Ah. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. So I'm going to resolve, but in this case, I don't have a current user, so I'm going to pass in just an empty object. Okay. All right. So let's try that again. Let's see. Okay. I got to defer. It's going to come back. It's going to resolve an empty object. Okay. So now it's letting me go to the home page, but it's still showing the profile. Okay, because I believe in the home page, it's checking to see for the existence of this object. So the object is empty, but nevertheless it still exists. So maybe we could check for something in there, maybe like an ID, underscore ID. Does the object have an underscore ID? Let's refresh. Let's continue. So there it is. So so I'm not logged in. So it offers me to log in or to register. But if I do log in as Po and log in, and then I go to the home page, notice that now instead of giving me the login page and the register link, right? It's offering me to navigate to the profile link. Make sense? Right? There it is. All right, so we could use similar techniques, right? With the added benefit of with the added complexity of being able to maybe associate them to a role, right? Like an admin role, or if you are a user, like a buyer or a seller, and depending on that role, we could drive the user interface, right, to display certain things or not others, right, based on the role, right, and we would encode some of that logic on the client side, but the manipulation of the role would be on the server side, right. So let's do that next.